I'll go ahead and start. All right, so we're recording, and I was just saying I'm so glad that we're doing this topic tonight, and Lisa's on live with us, and she recommended this topic, and I'm so glad that she did because truly I really do not think that most of us know how amazing Mimi and Dottie are, these tools that we have, and how much goes into developing them. And the fact that we as a company have our own the fact we all know, we talk about it all the time, how amazing it is that we have our own design team and that we design everything in-house totally from scratch. The fact that we do the same thing with our technology is really amazing, and we truly do not talk about it enough. The reason why it's so amazing is because with having our own technology development, that means that we have control over it. So rather than having to fully rely on third-party technology that we can't control as a company to either meet our needs or to serve our business model the best, we don't have control over that with things like Facebook and other group messaging types of apps and all of that. So as we continue to grow as a company, I think it's going to be really cool to see how Mimi continues to grow and evolve to be just this incredible tool that we can use for our business that is 100% tailored to our needs. And really when that, everybody at home office, I think one thing that's very, very cool and unique about Stella and Dot is no matter what department it's in, whether that's design or marketing or technology, whatever it is, those employees are genuinely asking themselves and figuring out how can we make this better for the stylist field. Like that is totally what the mission of Stella and Dot is all about. So the developers are just sitting there, they're taking our feedback, hearing what we need, and developing this tool to be completely perfect for exactly what we need. So I think it's really exciting, and I think it's going to be really cool to get to kind of grow up with Mimi, right? And see her grow into like our amazing assistant. So let's walk through it a little bit. And we posted this on the team page earlier this morning. My cat is sitting in my lap and batting at my pendant. Like, I know people talk about how their babies give them trouble with accessories, but like, I think cats are an underrated just struggle. But I guess this is a very tempting cat toy with the fringe. Okay. Back to on topic. So when you open up Mimi, I think this is so cool. This is a relatively new feature. You're going to see this screen that is helping you track towards your goals. It has inspirational quotes from our CEO and founder, Jessica Heron, which I love seeing those. They change like every single time you open the app. And you can enter in your why, what is motivating you, how much you would like to sell that month, sponsor, and then you're tracking the progress. I would really encourage everybody to make it into a habit to update this every month. And, because sometimes your goals might change month to month, but it's really cool to have them input in there because then as you progress towards your goal, Mimi's actually going to send you notifications and encouragement along the way, which is pretty neat. So that's pretty simple right there. Just start getting into that habit, and you may see us even do some fun giveaways or posts about, sharing those goals and that why, that motivation of what's going to get you excited in that given month. And then if you look down here on the bottom, you can toggle over to this next icon that says My Business. And again, this one is pretty straightforward too. It's going to have your style sessions listed in here so that you can see what's coming up, the date, and then when you click into it, you have a whole new set of tools right there. And sorry, I know it's kind of hard to see like screen to screen on here, but hopefully you're looking at your own trunk shows that you have booked in there. It has all the information, the address, when it closes, your hostess's contact information. It has the personalized URL that your hostess, that you can grab for your hostess and text to her if she needs it. And then it's tracking the sales of the style session, how many orders, and the hostess rewards. So all of that is right there. And I think this is really handy too, just a little way that I've used it. As a hostess coaching tool after your style session, you can just easily screenshot that the stats that are right here to show her and just quickly send her the progress on her style session. There are some options up here at the top. There's tasks. If you click on that, it's actually going to walk you through what you need to do to plan your style session and coach her leading up to the style session date, as well as what to do after the fact. Make sure that you have your notifications turned on for Mimi, because you'll actually get notified for these things. And that is just so handy. I know so many of us are extremely busy and have a lot on our plates. So it's great to get just a quick push notification with a reminder for easy little things like 1 week until the style session, check in with your hostess. And it's actually going to pop up, and when you click on that, it actually gives you some notes and words to say, even for you to be able to take action on that to-do list item. So that's super easy. And it actually is going to make it even really simple too. As you grow your team, it makes sponsoring so much easier, because you can easily show your new stylist how to hostess coach with this handy checklist that totally like puts the easy button on being a stylist. So that's on there. And then you can look up at the guests, or if you click on guests, there's two things in here. One is that there are going to be auto-generated invitation templates that you can use. There's some that are blank, and there's some that get pre-filled out with all the information that you entered for that style session when you created it in the lounge. So you still have to go in the lounge and enter in the style session, enter in the hostess's information and the date and all of that stuff. And then it'll populate in Mimi, and it'll give you these invitations that you can use. You can save it to your phone. You can text it to your hostess so that she can send it to her friends, along with that personalized URL. There's also blank ones on here. You know, if you're doing a fundraiser or something else, or there's certain situations where maybe that auto-generated information isn't exactly quite right. So you can also totally customize it in Mimi and use the tools to enter in your own text. If you go up here where it says RSVPs, this is actually going to keep track of any RSVPs that are collected through the Trunk Show URL. So if you're using that option, I know that is a great option to have your hostess send a text with the link and actually direct the guests to click on that link in order to RSVP. So you're going to be able to see who those people are. If you click on over where the RSVPs are, you can see who's RSVP'd for all of these things. Now, this style session that I'm showing you on here, there's no RSVPs because my hostess actually used an Evite. So that's an option too. As long as you're doing something where she's inviting that big list of 40 people in order to get about 10 to 12 to 15 guests there, then you're good to go. But just know that that's an option. And then lastly, you can click over to where it says orders. So you can see my hostess has actually gotten an order on her show before the show, which is great. And it's going to keep track of all the orders there. This makes it really easy to do just a quick following up with your guests. One thing that I've started doing in the past 6 months to a year that has been really, really effective is within 48 hours of the style session, I am sending a text message to each guest. Just something super simple like, hey, so nice to meet you. Thanks for shopping with me at the Trunk Show. So that's a great place that, the day after, or if your show is on, let's say your show is on a Saturday morning for brunch, you can do that first thing on Monday and just go in here and grab all the contact information and all of the details about her order. Okay, moving on. If you go back to the beginning page out of the style session, back to my business, there's also a tab here that says orders. And that's actually going to be exactly the same thing as what we were just looking at, except for instead of filtering it by a trunk show, it's just all of the orders that you've had. So whether they're through a trunk show or simply through your personal website, all of your orders are going to show up there. Same thing, it's a great place to just grab them really easily. It's much more mobile friendly than the lounge, so you can access all of that information there. And that's everything that's under my business. Anything else that I should add about that? Okay. Then the middle tab is marked tasks. This is really helpful too. So this actually has an entire checklist of, order follow-ups that you should be doing letting people know, I mean, this is something that I need to do. Someone's credits are expiring soon, so follow up with her. Check in on this customer's order. All of that. Birthdays are on here. So again, these things are going to pop up if you have your notifications on. And it's also great to just get in a habit of checking this every day. It takes about 5 minutes and you can check off any tasks that are there. And that makes it super simple. You can also go up at the top. It does have options to look at it for like all tasks, or you can filter by style sessions or follow-ups. So you can kind of play around with that and figure out a good system that works for you. The other thing that you can do is you can actually add your own tasks too. Down here at the bottom, it says new task. So if you need to add in something that's like personal for your business, for example, I have a pop-up this weekend that I am not going to be entering as like a style session. So I don't have any Hostess Coaching automatic things in here. So that could be something, for example, that I might want to add a task to remind me to do something to promote my pop-up that's coming up. Another thing that you can do, and this is probably the section that everybody is the most familiar with, is that icon down here at the bottom that says gallery. And this is kind of where Mimi started, but obviously you can already see she's grown so far beyond just kind of being like an image gallery that we can pull from, but all of that goodness is still here. And I want to walk through this a little bit, and not in so much detail because I know that this is where everybody kind of goes the most, but just a few things that I wanted to point out. One of them is just how easy you can share, it's kind of like stalling on me, hold on. How easily you can share an image from Mimi to any contacts that are in your lounge. So here's this great Shop for a Cause image, for example, for next month with our autism awareness boutique to benefit the Holly Rod Foundation. We do that every April. So I was already starting to think ahead this week on who could be some great hostesses to partner with who would love that. So you could grab this image. You could add a little sticker on there if you want to, anything like that. But even if you just want to use the image, you go press that little downward arrow. Look, it looks like the download icon that's at the bottom right-hand corner. And then if I want to be using this for booking, for example, I can go to this page where you can start to share it. And then what I love about this is that if you look down at the bottom where it says send to lounge contacts, this is pure gold right here, because as your business continues to grow, you're going to have more and more contacts who, like, they're not your friends. You don't have their numbers saved to your phone. So rather than having to like go back and forth from the lounge to Mimi to all those things, like, you don't have to do that. It's all integrated. So all you have to do is click on lounge contacts. And let's say I want to pull up, I see that Jess Burnett hopped on with us, and she actually was a hostess and customer of mine before she joined as a stylist, so I have her in my contacts. I'm going to pull her name up and use her for my example. So I pull her name up. She's down here at the bottom. Of course, I do have her saved to my phone because we are friends, but let's say she just had shopped with me at a show 2 weeks ago. I had met her for the first time. Here's her name, and then there is a little option to either text her or email her. Now, as long as she gave me her cell phone number when we placed her order, this is going to just pop right up to a text message when I open this up, if it wants to cooperate. It's just going a little slow. Bear with me. All right, so I press that, and then it comes up in a text, and it has her name up here because she's saved into my phone, but if she wasn't saved into my phone, it would just show her phone number. And then it's going to automatically generate a little quick message and your link. It's very generic, so I would highly recommend deleting it and just customizing it with something that sounds true to your voice. Of course, when it's booking, it's something so easy like, Hey Jess, I know autism awareness is near and dear to your heart. We have our Hollyrod Foundation partnership coming up next month. I'd love to partner with you. I have this date and this date open. Let's put one on the calendar. What do you say? And just, you can fire that off really quickly. And again, you don't have to be like, you don't have to look up people's phone numbers. So that just makes your life a lot easier. So the other thing to point out, in case you don't know, this bar right here slides. So if you slide it over to the right, there's a whole bunch of other sections. I know some people have not noticed that in the past, and so maybe your mind is about to be blown. And then the other thing that is super cool about Mimi, that's just amazing technology, is that you can actually import your own photo or even take a picture right in the app and tag your items in a bag and send that to somebody. That is amazing. It's like being one of those like-to-know bloggers without having to get accepted by an app. And we're, by the way, earning way more commission than they do. They earn like cents per order rather than 25% to 35%. So that is really cool. I'm not going to walk you through the steps of that because there's actually an entirely separate video that already exists about how to do it. There's one from home office and I actually filmed one too. I can repost that. But speaking of videos, the other thing that's cool on here that's a fairly new feature is if you go up here and click on videos, there is a whole video database here that you can share videos directly from Mimi in the same exact method that I just walked you through for sharing photos. And you can scroll over. There's great videos here just about whatever is new and now. I love using the sponsor videos to share with potential stylists. There are some amazing videos in here. There's the clip of Jessica from the Today Show. That's a perfect thing to share. Starter kit unboxing. Even the webinars are on here. There's like a full-length one and a kind of abbreviated version that you can send that's like a little bit more bite-sized. So some of them, like those shorter videos, are really perfect to share as like a warm-up where maybe you're throwing it out there to her for the first time. For someone who's really seriously considering it, who's really interested to learn more, you could share that extended webinar to really let her dive into all the details. And I think it's like a 20-minute video, so that's a little bit longer. So check those out. Definitely utilize those. The other really amazing thing with the videos is same thing as with the images. You can scroll over. I want to make sure that everybody knows about this section on here, stylist training. Not only is this a great section for you to be able to use for your own training to go dive in and learn more, there's booking training, there is information about Glam Getaway, a video that explains our monthly and more product credit program, Power Seller Perks. If you scroll down, there's the group Hello, tips on slaying your style session, checkout chat. And then there's even actual videos on here about how to use Mimi more and step-by-step ways to do that. This is that video that I was talking about on how to share a look, quick and easy, share a bag with Mimi. It's the second to last video, so you can check that out there. The other amazing thing about this is that, again, it's gonna make being a sponsor so much easier because all you have to do to train your new stylist is either show her how to look these up or just send them to her through Mimi, just like you did when you were sending her those videos before she joined with the webinar and all of that. So you can share all of these here. And then of course you can tap into our monthly new stylist training calls that we do as a team. That's always a resource that's there for you, as well as reaching out to your upline. But this is just, again, pushing the easy button on being a leader and making that super simple for you. So lastly, there is the section down here at the bottom that says messages. And this is another thing that is good to get in the habit of checking really regularly. There are just reminders of things to do, like overall things to do in your business that are kind of like higher level versus on that tasks page. It's like a lot of like smaller to-do items. That's under activity. And then if you go over to announcements, this is all of the announcements from the home office. I think this is so much easier than trying to like sift through everything that's going on the Crushing It Facebook page. It just filters out all the noise and it has like the buzz emails, and then anything that's an announcement directly from home office that's really important is going to be on here too. Again, turn on the notifications because that will come to you as a push notification so you can not miss any announcements. But of course, check it regularly too. So that is Mimi in a nutshell. I know it's a lot of information at once, but hopefully it gives you a good overview of what all the features are and some guidance on just how to like dive in there and play around and learn more. And we're just going to see more and more features roll out. So they'll be announced in the announcements here. So now that you're going to be in the habit of checking that, you won't miss what any of those are either. So that is Mimi. Does anyone have any questions about anything that I went over or anything that they've seen in Mimi that I maybe didn't touch on and you want to know? This is your last chance ever to ever ask a question about Mimi. Just kidding. If you think of anything later or if
Where does the name Mimi come from?
I have no idea. That's a really good question. But if you think of any questions,
it's actually what Blythe called Grandma Dot.
Oh, really?
No, not really at all. But I think we should start that rumor.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah, I heard that's what she called her. So if anyone, if you're watching the recording and you have any questions, of course, just reach out and ask. If you can actually leave the question on the comments below the video, of course, when we're going to post it, that would be great because then I'm sure if you have that question, somebody else does too. And so we can post an answer on there so everybody can learn from that question. All right, I'll turn it over to Jess, and she is going to fill us all in on Dottie and how amazing Dottie is.
Okay, so Dottie is a little bit more straightforward. This girlfriend, this personal assistant is more so for your ordering business. So Mimi is like a catch-all for all things training and all things after the fact. Dottie is more, in my opinion, like a game time assistant. So Dottie, for those of you who haven't downloaded it yet, you download it directly through the lounge. There is a random Stella and Dot app found in the Apple Store. I don't really know what that's for, so don't download that. I did that at the beginning. It's a huge mistake. So download Dottie, obviously, through the Stylist Lounge. Something to, just like a couple key points about Dottie, just from personal experience and my opinion, in all honesty. We are set up kind of like what Charlotte was saying earlier. Our business model is set apart for many reasons, one of which is our tech platform. And Dottie is something that I personally think that makes us look way more professional and way more tech savvy than a lot of other similar companies to ours and other companies with similar business models. So the fact that you have something on your phone that sets us apart, like number one, we look more professional. A couple of things to note, Dottie makes certain conversations a lot more, a lot less awkward, I guess is a good way to put it. So for instance, as a newer stylist or even a seasoned stylist, sometimes it's weird when you are at a trunk show and you're trying to add some items onto this particular customer's order, or you saw them looking at something and you're checking them out and it's kind of awkward to bring something out, or you're trying to finish the look and you just don't feel super comfortable with this person. Dottie prompts you for all of this. So for instance, a trunk show exclusive. Once they qualify for that, something pops up on Dottie that will prompt you to ask them. So it's not weird because you've got Dottie on your iPhone or on your iPad. And so it's just, you're following orders, you're following suit on your app. So it's very easy. A prompt of, can I have your birthday to put it in for a birthday coupon? Can I interest you in hosting your own personal style session? Things like that maybe you're just getting into the swing of things and you're getting comfortable with asking someone. Or if you're a little out of practice and you need some prompts in general, Dottie just does a really good job reminding you to ask certain things, but also it will increase your order and it will help you book more trunk shows. There's also a little thing in there of, are you interested in learning a little bit more about becoming a stylist? So that's really cool too. Let me take my notes really quick. So with Dottie, so obviously it's great to place orders at a trunk show or on the go. I have sold things in line waiting to check out at Anthropologie before, which is another awesome story I will share much, much later. So you can place orders on the go, make sure you look super professional, like I mentioned. You can basically manage every aspect of your trunk show. You can save orders. So as you're toggling between, let's say your trunk show has 10 guests, if someone's like, oh my gosh, I want to add this to my order, but I'm not ready to check out yet, I just want to look. You can start her order, add the items into her basket, and then save the order and move on to the next person to help as that woman is finishing, shopping around or looking through the lookbook. So that's really great. You can also look at any placed orders you already have for that trunk show, or just in general. You can add, edit, or manage a contact, and you can view the entire collection, which is really great. Most of the time, Dottie is up to speed, real time of what is, low in stock or back ordered. But on the off chance you don't feel super comfortable, you do have access very easily through Dottie to look at all of the, what are they called? Like oh my gosh, what are they called? I'm blinking.
The product alert.
The product alerts. So you can like toggle quickly through.
PAL, in case someone ever hears like the PAL and you don't know what that is, that's what that is.
Well, I was just going to say the acronym and then I was like, I don't even know what PAL stands for. So you can access that very easily too. So the majority of the time Dottie is up to the date, but on the off chance you do want to check it, you can toggle very easily in Dottie to do so. What else? Oh, you can access a lookbook. You've got awesome images, and then there's great videos too for certain versatile pieces. Like you can bring up a video of the set necklace. So if you, for whatever reason, don't have that in your collection, instead of going to Mimi or going to the website or whatever, you could just bring up the video right in Dottie if someone's interested in looking at that. Same, it goes through Covet, it goes through a couple of different things. So that's a really nice resource to have it as well. It also has a really great screensaver image. So if you do have it up on your iPad during a trunk show, you can just kind of play this, beautifully musical montage of Stella and Dot. So it's like very fun and cute. So obviously this whole thing is about Mimi, and Mimi is a newer tool and in my opinion, a cooler tool, but we should shine a little bit of light on Dottie because she's the OG, and she just makes your actual like in real time business with Stella a little bit easier. So there is training as well on Dottie if anybody does have any additional questions on certain logistics. It is pretty self-explanatory. You just have to look and open it. But if anyone does have any questions, I am more than happy to answer them. At any time, not just right now.
Not a question, but just like anecdotally, one way that I really like to use Dottie is actually, and obviously I love that, just in case you don't know, you used to not be able to use Dottie on your phone. It used to just be iPad. That's correct, right?
Yeah.
So it's awesome now that you can use it on your phone. And one thing that I like to do is actually, because now it's great. If you don't have an iPad, you don't have to buy an iPad to feel like you can be successful. But if you do have an iPad, one thing that I like to do is use my phone to check out, to do the orders, but then actually still have the iPad there for customers to be able to browse or to be able to like pull up an item that I don't have the sample of and show like a bigger image and show it on somebody, because it links to like Instagram photos of people wearing it and stuff like that. So it's a really good tool to also be able to use, because none of us are going to ever have the whole collection to display. I mean, and that would be completely ridiculous. So it's a nice thing to be able to use to feel more confident, to be able to show and share the collection with your guests.
Agreed.
All right. Any last thoughts or questions? We have about 5 minutes left if we want to use it, or we can go ahead and wrap up. All right. Well, if anyone has any other questions or if there's anything that we didn't share, for those of you who are seasoned stylists, maybe we totally left something out or you're using these tools in a way that we haven't discovered yet, would love to hear what that is. And of course, we're happy to answer any other questions and point you to additional training on these amazing tools if you need it. I hope everyone has a great rest of your night and an awesome, oh, Jess, you just popped on. Do you have anything to share? Or just sharing your cute face? You're muted. We can't hear you, but we can definitely see what's going on with your hair. What are you saying?
I'm saying,
oh my
God, coming on because I had an idea, but I was like, well, I just came from the pool and I have really bad postpartum hair regrowth. Let me see what I look like. And I was like, oh, Jesus, who are you going to call? Ghostbusters. And now you got me talking. So great.
Oh, girl.
Yeah. So this is the stylish life of me and how I just like 2 cents on how I use Dottie. You both said this, but I like use them together where I'll go, like, I haven't had a good trunk show in a while, but if I do, I go into that trunk show through Dottie. I look at the orders. I can click on the order. It gives a really great visual of the picture, like of what they ordered. So I don't have to like know the names. It just has a picture next to it. And then usually at a trunk show I have like one good something that sold like multiple times. And I loved the tip. I forget where it came from or who it came from, but it was like a couple weeks out, if you're kind of in that like awkward stage where you thanked them, you did all that, but maybe you didn't, maybe you forgot to offer something more, like how to still be of service. And it was to send a picture of whatever they bought. So usually, like, again, if 4 people bought a Zoe lariat, you would just send a picture of a Zoe lariat styled with other things or different ways and send that through Mimi. So I would like refresh my memory of what they bought, go through Dottie to that product, go to stella.style hashtag under the product, find quickly like 3 or 4 pictures that look different, like styled, like casually work, whatever, all that stuff. I have a pic collage app that I can do really quickly. And then I upload that to Mimi and then text out through Mimi. So I think that sounded more complicated than it is. And if you have questions about it, like you can ask any of us, but that's how I use it a lot when I do my reach out. So I kind of like combine the 2 to reach out.
Good thought. We're going to get kicked off in a second, but you made me think of something else that we didn't say, which is when you're doing your show, make sure that you're using Dottie to build people's wish lists. So you just start an order for them and you're like, I'm just going to add things to your wish list. And basically you're just putting it in a cart for them. And then at the end, they can decide like what they want to buy that night. And then as you're in the cart, if you swipe like to the left on the item, a little heart will pop up. It'll be like a heart and a trash can. And so if they're not going to buy it that night, press the heart, not the trash can, and then it's going to save it in their customer wish list so that now you know and you can remember what else they liked that they didn't buy, that now, of course, you're going to offer to help them get it for free as a hostess. And you can also like keep an eye on it for them if it ever goes on sale or something like that. But that is a really helpful way to be able to reach out again in the future. All right. Well, I think that just about covers it, and that is perfect timing because we're going to get booted off of here soon. But again, hope everybody has a great night. Thanks so much for tuning in and for watching the recording. For those of you who couldn't join us live, we will be blitzing all together next week on Tuesday, same time, same place. BYOB, let's have some fun, and we're going to end the month strong and set ourselves up for a great April ahead. So can't wait to see everybody there.